What if I told you that one simple oil, sitting quietly in your cabinet, might hold the key to restoring strength, sensation, and confidence, even after 60? I know it sounds almost too simple, but hear me out. Because deep down, you've probably noticed the quiet changes. The moments when your body doesn't respond the way it used to. The times when intimacy feels different, maybe even distant. The way confidence slowly slips away, not just in the bedroom, but in how you carry yourself every day. And maybe you've wondered if this is just the way things are now. That growing older means fading away. But what if that wasn't true? What if the solution didn't come in a bottle of pills, or from an embarrassing trip to the doctor, but instead from something natural, discreet, and already trusted for generations? Today, I want to let you in on a little secret. There are 7 hidden benefits of castor oil that go far beyond what most people have ever imagined. These benefits touch not only your body, but also your sense of vitality, your confidence, and even your connection with the person you love. Some of them will make you nod your head in recognition. Others will leave you genuinely surprised. And one in particular still sparks debate among doctors to this very day. So, before you dismiss this as just another old remedy, I invite you to stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you might just see castor oil, and yourself, in a completely new light. You see, here on Senior Strong Living, we've made it our mission to uncover natural, science-backed ways to help you live with strength, dignity, and confidence, no matter your age. And I'm not here to sell you a quick fix or some miracle cure. I'm here to guide you through real solutions that are safe, discreet, and rooted in both modern research and time-tested tradition. Now, castor oil might sound like something old-fashioned, something your parents or even grandparents used. And you'd be right. For generations, it's been trusted for everything from soothing sore joints to calming inflammation. But what most people don't realize is that science has been catching up with those traditions. In recent years, more and more studies have highlighted castor oil's unique properties. Things like its ability to improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and even support nerve recovery. Doctors in men's health and aging research have quietly begun to acknowledge what folk healers seem to know all along. This oil has hidden potential, especially when it comes to restoring vitality in later years. And the best part? You don't need a prescription. You don't need injections. You don't even need to explain yourself to anyone if you don't want to. This is something you can do privately, in the comfort of your own home. That's why I'm bringing this to you. Because I believe you deserve options that respect both your health and your pride. Natural methods that don't leave you feeling dependent on pills or worried about side effects, but instead put the power back in your hands. So as we walk through these 7 hidden benefits together, think of me not just as a voice on your screen, but as your guide on this journey. A friend pointing you toward a safe, gentle approach that has helped countless men regain a sense of themselves after 60. Now, before we dive into these 7 hidden benefits, I want to pause for just a moment and invite you to take part in this conversation. Because Senior Strong Living isn't just a channel. It's a growing community of people who care about their health, their dignity, and their future. So let me ask you this. Where are you watching from today? Drop the name of your city, your town, or even your country down in the comments. I can't tell you how much joy it brings me to see people from all over the world walking this journey together. It reminds us that no matter our background, no matter our story, we share something deeply human, the desire to stay strong, connected, and full of life as the years go by. And if this happens to be your first time here, welcome. I'd love for you to become part of this family. Just tap that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Because every week we bring you natural, science-backed insights created especially for seniors who want to live not just longer, but stronger. Alright, let's get into the heart of today's topic. Let's explore the 7 hidden benefits of castor oil for restoring manhood after 60. And I promise you, as we go along, some of these may feel familiar, but others might truly surprise you. Alright, let's start with the very first hidden benefit, and in many ways, the foundation of everything else. Improving blood flow to the lower pelvic region. Now, if you've ever felt that your body just doesn't respond the way it used to, you're not imagining things. After 60, the body naturally begins to slow down in some key areas. Your blood vessels lose elasticity. The arteries that once carried blood with ease begin to narrow. And the level of nitric oxide, the little molecule your body depends on to open up those vessels, quietly drops with age. The result? Blood just doesn't circulate as strongly to certain areas anymore. And when blood flow is weak, everything feels weaker. Reactions are slower, recovery times drag on, and sometimes responses don't come at all. I still remember a patient story that stayed with me. His name was Robert, 67 years old. He sat across from me and said softly, "Doctor, my body doesn't answer the way it used to. It feels like something is missing." And he wasn't talking only about physical intimacy. He was talking about his sense of self, his confidence, his manhood, that inner drive that makes you feel alive. For Robert, it wasn't one big moment of change. It was a slow, quiet decline that crept in over the years. And maybe you can relate to that. Here's where castor oil becomes more than just an old remedy in a bottle. You see, castor oil is rich in something called ricinoleic acid. And this compound has a very special property. It helps open up tiny capillaries, those small blood vessels that feed your tissues with life. When you apply castor oil with a bit of gentle heat, something as simple as a warm towel, it doesn't just sit on your skin. It penetrates deep into the tissue, stimulating circulation, awakening vessels that may have gone dormant, and encouraging blood to flow where it's been sluggish for far too long. And here's the fascinating part. Many men report that after just a few uses, they start to notice a gentle warmth spreading through the lower region. That warmth isn't just a feeling. It's a sign, the first whisper that blood is moving again, that circulation is coming back to life. Over time, that small spark can bring back natural morning strength, restore sensation, and more importantly, rebuild the quiet confidence that so many men thought was gone forever. Robert is proof of that. After 1 month of consistent use, 3 times a week, he returned with a different look in his eyes. He said, "It feels like my body is remembering what to do." Not a miracle. Not magic. Just biology reawakened by the right method, at the right time. Now, here's a thought for you. Do you believe that poor blood flow is the biggest reason men lose vitality after 60? Or do you think hormones play an even bigger role? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. Because trust me, this is one of those debates where experiences can be just as valuable as science. And remember, this is only the beginning. Because as powerful as blood flow is, there's another silent factor many men never see coming. Something that can quietly change not only function, but even the shape of the body itself. And that's what we'll talk about in Benefit 2. Now let's move into the second hidden benefit of castor oil, one that most men never even realize is happening inside their bodies until it begins to show in uncomfortable ways, softening internal scar tissue and fibrotic plaques. You see, over the years, our bodies go through tiny traumas we hardly notice. A little friction here, a bit of strain there, and sometimes low-grade inflammation that lingers longer than it should. For men, especially after 60, these small injuries can quietly build up inside the delicate tissues of the genital area. What happens is the body begins to repair itself, but instead of smooth, elastic tissue, it lays down stiff collagen fibers, a type of scar tissue. At first, you might not feel anything. Then one day, you notice a change. A slight curve where there wasn't one before. A tightness you can't quite explain. Maybe even discomfort during moments of intimacy. And as the months go by, what once felt natural begins to feel awkward, even embarrassing. I remember Daniel, a 71-year-old former soldier, who came to me with his head lowered. He said, "Doctor, I don't know why, but things down there have started curving. It feels uncomfortable. And honestly, I just don't feel like myself anymore." You could see the frustration written all over his face. He wasn't just battling a physical issue. He was fighting the quiet shame of something he felt powerless to control. And Daniel's story isn't rare. This condition, known medically as fibrotic plaque buildup, is much more common than most men realize. But because it's such a sensitive subject, many choose silence until it becomes severe. Here's the good news. Castor oil has been used for generations to soften scar tissue. Its rich ricinoleic acid content helps it penetrate deep into subcutaneous layers, soothing hardened areas and encouraging the body to gently break down excess collagen. When paired with gentle heat, like a warm compress, and a light massage, castor oil can gradually soften those fibrotic tissues, restoring elasticity where stiffness had set in. For Daniel, I recommended a simple nightly routine, applying the oil 3 to 4 times a week with a warm towel afterward. 6 weeks later, he walked back into my office with something I hadn't seen before, a subtle but undeniable smile. He said, "The tension is gone, and it feels like things are beginning to look normal again." That wasn't just physical healing. That was the restoration of trust in his own body. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think scar tissue like this can truly be reversed, or is it just about managing the symptoms? This is one of those questions where opinions and personal experiences often differ, and I'd love to hear your take in the comments. Because here's the truth. Even if blood flow is strong and tissues are softer, there's another hidden enemy many men don't even know they're living with. It's silent, it's persistent, and it can slowly rob you of comfort and sensitivity if left unchecked. That hidden factor? Chronic low-grade inflammation. And that's exactly what we'll uncover in Benefit 3. Now let's talk about the third hidden benefit of castor oil, one that often goes unnoticed because it doesn't scream for attention the way other issues do. It's something far quieter, but no less destructive, reducing chronic low-grade inflammation in the pelvic area. Here's the thing. Inflammation isn't always about swollen joints or visible redness. Sometimes it lives under the surface, a slow, burning discomfort that many men simply brush off as part of getting older. You might feel a dull tightness when you move, or a strange pulling sensation when you're intimate. Maybe it's not pain exactly, but it's not comfort either. And over time, that constant low-level irritation chips away at your sense of ease, your confidence, and even your willingness to be close to the person you love. I'll never forget Michael, 66 years old, who once told me, "I'm not in pain, but it always feels like something inside is pulling inward. Like my body is closing up on me." Those words struck me deeply, because what he described wasn't just physical. It was the quiet loss of identity, the feeling that your own body is slipping away from you bit by bit. From a biological perspective, chronic inflammation weakens tissues, makes blood vessels less flexible, and disrupts natural healing. It can even contribute to the gradual numbness many men experience with age. And here's the challenge. Because it's subtle, it often goes untreated until the damage is already done. This is where castor oil shows its unexpected strength. That same ricinoleic acid that helps improve circulation also has anti-inflammatory properties recognized in research. When you apply castor oil to the lower abdomen or pelvic region, especially with a warm towel before bed, it penetrates deep into the tissues. It doesn't just soothe from the outside, it calms irritation from within, giving your body the chance to recover instead of being stuck in a constant cycle of irritation. Michael followed this simple practice 3 nights a week. A few weeks later, he told me, "It feels like my body is opening back up. I don't just feel relief. I feel hope." And that word, hope, is powerful. Because once inflammation is under control, healing can finally begin in a real, lasting way. Now let me ask you, do you believe that most men recognize inflammation as the root cause of their discomfort, or do you think it often gets mistaken for something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your insight might be exactly what another man out there needs to hear. And here's the important part. Even when blood is flowing and inflammation is under control, many men still report something missing. They'll say, "I can still function, but it just doesn't feel the same." That loss of sensation, that dulling of the nerves, is one of the most quietly devastating changes of aging. But there's good news. Because castor oil can help there, too. And that's what we'll uncover in Benefit 4. Now we come to the fourth hidden benefit of castor oil, and I have to say, this one might touch a deeper place than the others. Because it's not just about function, it's about feeling. This benefit is all about supporting nerve reactivation and restoring lost sensation. You see, many men don't talk about this openly, even with their doctors. It's not that they can't perform at all. It's that, even when the body responds, the feeling isn't there. The spark is gone. The connection feels hollow. Some describe it as numbness, others as dullness, and a few say it feels like their body is simply going through the motions. And when that sensation fades, it doesn't just affect intimacy, it affects identity, confidence, and even relationships. I remember Larry, 70 years old, who looked me straight in the eyes with sadness and said, "Doctor, I can still be intimate, but I don't feel anything. It's like my body works, but my heart isn't there." That confession wasn't just about biology. It was about a man losing a part of himself that once defined his connection to life and love. So why does this happen? As we age, nerve endings in the genital area become less responsive. It's not only poor circulation. It's also the result of chronic inflammation, side effects of medications, and natural hormonal shifts. The messages from the brain to the body lose clarity. Signals get muffled, reactions slow, and the once vivid sensations dull into silence. And here's where castor oil becomes more than just an old remedy. With its warming, anti-inflammatory, and circulation-boosting properties, it creates an environment where nerves can begin to wake up again. Think of it like this. Nerves are like wires. When the connection weakens, the signal fades. Castor oil doesn't replace the wires, but it helps remove the blockages around them. The swelling, the stiffness, the poor flow, so the messages can start passing through again. Larry committed to using it nightly. Nothing extreme, just a small amount with a warm towel before bed. A month later, he came back and said quietly, "I'm starting to feel again. Not strong, not sudden, but clearly it's coming back." That moment wasn't about a miracle. It was about hope being rekindled, one spark at a time. And let me ask you, when it comes to intimacy after 60, what do you think matters more? Physical performance or the depth of sensation and connection? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, because every perspective brings something valuable to this conversation. But here's the thing. Even as nerves begin to recover, there's another layer many men overlook. A detail so simple it's often ignored, yet it can quietly undermine all the progress you've made. That detail is the skin itself, delicate, thinning, and in need of protection. And that brings us to benefit 5. Now let's move into the 5th hidden benefit of castor oil, one that almost no one talks about, yet it can make all the difference in maintaining comfort, sensitivity, and even confidence. And that is moisturizing and protecting the delicate skin in the genital area. You see, most men, when they think about health after 60, focus on hormones, blood flow, or maybe muscle strength. But very few stop to think about the skin. And yet, the skin down there is not like the skin on your arm or your face. It's much thinner, more delicate, and heavily influenced by testosterone to stay elastic and healthy. As we age, testosterone naturally declines, collagen production slows down, and the skin begins to lose its ability to hold onto moisture. The result? That sensitive skin becomes fragile. It dries out, it cracks more easily, and tiny micro-injuries begin to form. And while they may seem small, over time they can add up to persistent irritation, itching, and even discomfort during intimacy. Worse still, when that skin becomes too dry, the nerve endings underneath lose some of their protective layer, meaning sensation can be dulled or even become overly sensitive in uncomfortable ways. I remember Frank, 73 years old, who told me in almost a whisper, "The skin down there feels thinner. Sometimes it even cracks. I'm honestly afraid of wearing tight pants." Can you imagine the impact that had on his daily life, his comfort, and his self-esteem? He wasn't just worried about intimacy. He was worried about simply moving through the day without pain or embarrassment. This is where castor oil once again proves its worth. Unlike commercial lotions that often evaporate quickly or contain fragrances that irritate sensitive skin, castor oil is thick, deeply moisturizing, and designed by nature to linger. It doesn't just sit on the surface. It penetrates into the layers, strengthening the skin, locking in hydration, and creating a natural barrier of protection. When Frank started applying it just a few times a week before bed, nothing complicated, no heat required this time, he noticed a difference within weeks. His skin felt stronger, less fragile, and he said, "I'm no longer afraid of friction. I feel more at ease now." And that sense of ease, that freedom from constant worry, is priceless. But let me ask you this. Do you think most men underestimate the importance of skin health in this area until it's too late? Or do you believe it's simply overlooked because it feels too uncomfortable to talk about? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a topic that needs more honest discussion. Now, while protecting the skin is vital, there's another hidden benefit that's less about what you see and more about how your body responds. It's subtle, but it plays a crucial role in keeping your vitality alive. I'm talking about hormonal support, not by replacing hormones, but by making your body more responsive to the ones you still have. That's benefit 6, and it may surprise you. Now let's talk about the 6th hidden benefit of castor oil, one that's often misunderstood, and yet it quietly supports everything we've been discussing so far. I'm talking about indirect hormonal support. Now, to be clear, castor oil isn't a hormone replacement. It doesn't suddenly boost testosterone levels or act like a pill from the pharmacy. But what it does is just as important. It helps create the conditions in your body that allow your natural hormones to actually do their job. Think about it this way. Hormones like testosterone are the messengers. They carry the instructions that tell your body how to respond. But if the tissues receiving those messages are clogged with scar tissue, inflamed, or poorly nourished, those signals don't get through. The result? Even if you still have some testosterone, your body struggles to respond to it. By improving circulation, calming inflammation, softening tissues, and strengthening the skin, castor oil helps clear the pathway so your hormones can work more effectively. It's like tuning a radio. The signal may be weak, but when you reduce the static, you suddenly hear the music clearly again. I think back to Gerald, 69 years old. At first, he laughed when I mentioned castor oil. He raised his eyebrow and said, "Doctor, you really want me to rub where exactly?" He was skeptical, like many men are. But he agreed to give it a try, more out of curiosity than belief. A few weeks later, he returned, and his whole attitude had shifted. He said, "I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like my body is actually listening again." That's the power of indirect support. It's not about flooding the body with more hormones. It's about making the body receptive to the ones that are already there. Now let me ask you, do you believe natural remedies can influence hormones indirectly, or do you think only medical intervention really makes a difference after a certain age? I'd love to hear your perspective, because this is one of those questions that sparks fascinating discussions. And here's the thing. Even if the blood is flowing, the tissues are soft, the inflammation is under control, and the hormones are being heard loud and clear, there's still one more piece of the puzzle. Perhaps the most important one of all. Because at the end of the day, what most men truly long for isn't just physical ability. It's something deeper, a sense of intimacy, connection, and dignity. And that brings us to benefit 7, the most overlooked benefit of them all. And now we arrive at the 7th hidden benefit of castor oil, one that reaches far beyond biology and touches the very heart of what it means to feel like yourself again. This final benefit is about emotional and relational restoration. Because let's be honest, when a man begins to lose his vitality, it's not just his body that changes. His confidence shifts, his energy lowers, and his relationships often feel the weight of that change. Many men tell me it feels like a quiet wall grows between them and the person they love. They can still be present, but the spark, the passion, the sense of closeness feels like it's slipping away. I remember a man named Thomas, 72 years old, who told me something that broke my heart. He said, "I still love my wife deeply, but I don't reach for her anymore because I don't feel like the man I used to be. I don't want to disappoint her." That's not just about intimacy. That's about identity, pride, and the deep bond between two people who've shared a life together. This is why something as simple as castor oil can mean so much more than people realize. It's not just oil on the skin. It's a ritual. A small, private act of care that tells your body, "I still matter. I still deserve to feel alive." When men begin this practice, many of them report not only physical improvements, but emotional ones too. They stand taller. They smile more. They start to believe again that they are capable of closeness, of passion, of intimacy that feels genuine. And here's the beautiful part. When one partner regains that confidence, the relationship itself often begins to heal. Because intimacy is never just about performance. It's about connection, trust, and the quiet assurance that you're still the man you've always been, strong, capable, and worthy of love. One gentleman told me after a few months of consistent use, "It's not just that my body is responding again. It's that I feel present with my wife. I feel like me again." That, right there, is the true hidden benefit. It's not only about restoring function. It's about restoring dignity, self-respect, and the emotional bond that makes life rich, even in our later years. Now, let me put this question to you. Do you think intimacy after 60 is more about the body, or more about the mind and heart? Your thoughts might surprise someone else watching, so share them in the comments. Because sometimes, it's the wisdom of shared experience that gives the most powerful encouragement. And now that we've uncovered all 7 hidden benefits, let's take a moment to bring this all together. Because knowing the benefits is one thing, but understanding how to actually use castor oil properly, in a way that's safe, effective, and consistent, that's what truly unlocks its potential. So let's walk through the step-by-step method in the next section. Now that we've uncovered the 7 hidden benefits of castor oil, it's time to get practical. Because knowing what it can do is only half the journey. The real question is, how do you actually use it in a way that's safe, effective, and sustainable? And here's something I want you to hear clearly. This isn't about complicated routines, expensive equipment, or anything embarrassing. This is about simple, consistent care. Something you can do privately, in the comfort of your own home. Let me walk you through it step by step. Step 1. Choose the right oil. Not all castor oils are created equal. You want a pure, cold-pressed, unscented castor oil, nothing mixed with fragrances, additives, or harsh chemicals. The cleaner the oil, the safer and more effective it will be on sensitive areas. If you're ever in doubt, look for labels that say 100% pure or hexane-free. Step 2. Warm the oil gently. Cold oil can feel uncomfortable, and warming it slightly helps it penetrate deeper. The easiest way? Just roll the bottle between your hands for 30 seconds, or place it in a cup of warm water for a few minutes. Never put it directly on a stove or in the microwave. You don't want it hot, just comfortably warm. Step 3. Apply and massage. Take a small amount of the oil, just a few drops go a long way, and gently apply it to the lower abdomen, the base of the pelvis, and, if you're comfortable, directly to the genital area. Use slow, circular motions. Think of this less as rubbing something on, and more as taking a moment to reconnect with your body. 3 to 5 minutes is enough. Step 4. Enhance absorption with gentle heat. This step is optional, but powerful. Place a warm towel over the area for about 15 to 20 minutes. That gentle heat opens up pores, boosts circulation, and helps the oil sink deeper into the tissues. Many men describe this as a calming ritual, almost like telling the body, it's time to relax, restore, and heal. Step 5. Stay consistent. Here's the part most people miss. They try it once or twice, don't notice much, and give up. But your body didn't get to this point overnight, and it won't fully restore overnight either. You don't need to do it every day, but 3 to 4 times a week before bed is a sweet spot. Over time, your body responds to the steady care. And let me share something important. This isn't about chasing instant miracles. It's about giving your body the environment it needs to wake up again, little by little. Think of it as planting a seed. With consistency, patience, and gentle attention, you give that seed the chance to grow into something strong and lasting. I've seen men like Gerald, the skeptic I told you about earlier, go from laughing at the idea to looking me in the eye weeks later and saying, "Not only is it working, I actually enjoy the ritual of taking care of myself this way." Now, let me pause and ask you, do you think most men give up too quickly when trying natural remedies, expecting instant results, or do you believe patience is the key? Share your view, because this is where many people struggle, and your words might encourage someone else to keep going. So there you have it, the practical roadmap. Pure oil, warmth, gentle massage, optional heat, consistency. Simple steps, but together, they create a powerful ritual of restoration. But before we close, there's something I want you to hear from the heart. Because this journey isn't only about circulation, tissues, nerves, or even hormones. It's about something much deeper, your identity, your dignity, and your sense of self. And that's exactly what I want to leave you with in this final section. My dear friend, let me leave you with this. What you've heard today isn't just about an oil. It's not just about blood flow, tissue health, nerves, or hormones. It's about you. About reclaiming something that age, silence, or doubt may have slowly taken away. Too many men over 60 carry this quiet weight, believing they are broken, fading, or somehow less than they once were. But here's the truth. You are not broken. You are not fading. And you are certainly not alone. Your body, even now, has the remarkable ability to respond, to heal, to reawaken. Sometimes, all it takes is the right care, offered with patience and intention. Every drop of oil, every quiet massage, every warm towel. It's not just a routine. It's a statement. It's you saying to yourself, I still matter. I still deserve to feel alive, connected, and whole. I've seen men walk into this journey hesitant, even embarrassed. And I've seen them weeks later with clearer eyes, stronger voices, and a quiet pride returning to their step. Not because castor oil is magic, but because they chose to believe in their body's ability to restore itself. They chose to believe in themselves. And maybe that's the greatest hidden benefit of all. Not just physical restoration, but emotional strength, dignity, and the hope that you can still live fully, no matter your age. So I invite you to hold on to that hope. Let this be the start of a new chapter, one where you feel not only stronger in body, but steadier in spirit. Because you deserve nothing less. And as we close today, I want to remind you, here at Senior Strong Living, this isn't just a channel. It's a family. A community of men and women who believe that age should never mean weakness, silence, or loss of dignity. It should mean wisdom, resilience, and strength that runs deeper than ever before. So if you found value in what we shared today, I'd love for you to become part of this community. Just hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and walk this journey with us every week. Together, we'll keep exploring natural, science-backed ways to live not just longer, but stronger. And now, I want to hear from you. Out of these 7 hidden benefits, which one surprised you the most? Or do you think there's another benefit we didn't mention that deserves attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your story might be the encouragement another person out there desperately needs. And don't miss our next video, where we'll uncover another overlooked natural remedy for senior vitality and health. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until then, my friend, stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember, you are never too old to reclaim your strength. This is Senior Strong Living, and I'll see you in the next video.